The LTT, taking advantage of the ceasefire, built its arsenal of artillery and heavy and medium mortars. The LTT's interest to expand its indirect fire capability was apparent in the words of its leader towards the latter part of Elam 3 conflict. Preserving manpower in a wave of poor recruitment. The heavy casualties suffered by the security forces and indecision of a failed military campaign resulted in poor recruitment in the period 2002 to 2005. Enhancing combat power through a mix of human skill and affordable technology. GPS and NVDs were some of the simple, affordable equipment which were used by the special infantry operation teams in executing their missions. This was specifically important in the areas of surveillance and target acquisition in order to enhance the effectiveness of the superior security force firepower. Now, when I mean effectiveness, I also mean accuracy. To develop the overall quality and competency of the infantry. The infantry had suffered miserably from the last conflict. Rapid expansion and heavy casualties had reduced the efficiency and quality of the infantry, thus highlighting the need for its overall rejuvenation. And the introduction of a suitable doctrine compatible to our environment. This was lacking. We were following the British doctrine, a pretty old one, so we needed one of our own. Having suffered heavily in loss of life and limb from the application of a tactical doctrine suitable for conventional warfare, the infantry were thirsting for a modus operandi suitable to our environment. Ladies and gentlemen, the origins of this concept date back to year 2001. It was the latter part of the Elam conflict, to an event related to combat, in which a failed divisional operation to clear fortified LTT positions in northern Sri Lanka resulted in heavy casualties and a few missing in action. Strong control of the terrain in successive tiers of defense enabled the LTT to retain ground that day. Surprisingly, 3 soldiers, separated from their units, were able to make it back to their lines by exfiltrating easily through these successive lines of defense. This stimulated thought to the effect that infantry, trained and purpose-built, could operate in guerrilla-controlled territory. Further analysis of some of the major combat operations revealed that the employment of overwhelming mass did not guarantee success, but in fact was disadvantageous and resulted in heavy casualties. Moreover, it had negative effects on the morale of the soldier and on the long run impacted on the national will and recruitment. Hence, it was prudent that the infantry would have to transform into small groups to gain the initiative and finally defeat the LTT. Let me now take you through some of the reasons for which we developed this concept. One was to improve tactical intelligence, surveillance, and target acquisition. We found this a major drawback in Elam 3. To enhance lethality by improving the effects of the superior firepower of the security forces. To improve decision making and the application of combat power at decisive points. Now, this was a benefit from improved tactical intelligence. To reduce casualties by operating in dispersed small groups. This is one of the core reasons for developing the concept. And also a low-cost option to the employment of special operations forces. It freed the special operations forces from some of its tasks in close operations, thus enabling them to be utilized in the depth of the LTT. And last but not the least, to reduce civilian casualties by improving precision in operations. Ladies and gentlemen, the concept is as shown on the slide. I recommend reading. Special infantry operations teams were designed to defeat the LTT threat in all forms. This includes sub-conventional operations, guerrilla and counterinsurgency warfare. They were trained and organized for small group operations on the lines of guerrilla warfare, and these teams were designed to operate 4 to 5 kilometers with an endurance of 3 to 4 days, 4 to 5 kilometers from the forward lines. They were the eyes and ears of the battalion commander, and seizing an area through dominance was their modus operandi. The concept exploited the inherent nature of the infantryman born and bred in villages and possessing the same attributes as a guerrilla. Of course, less the ideology and the morals. It was observed that the infantryman too possessed similar attributes such as familiarity with jungles and rural environments, robustness to endure hardships and deprivation, and the free, uncaring attitude of operating independently. So let's have a look at how we trained and developed this force. The infantrymen for the Special Infantry Operation teams were selected from a 44-day advanced infantry platoon training which was designed to maintain the combat efficiency of the infantry platoon through the peace period. On being selected from this course, students underwent a comprehensive training program designed to develop the skills essential for special infantry operation missions. The training, which was conducted in the form of packages as shown on the slide, covered a period of 3.5 months. The improvement of the operational efficiency of the infantry as a whole could be attributed to the conduct of realistic and objective infantry battalion training. This included combined arms and even joint warfare. We had live exercises with inclusive of close air support. The advanced infantry platoon training, which is designed to maintain operational effectiveness of the individual and the platoon. We continue to maintain the effectiveness of the platoon. And from there we drew out the SIOT training, which brought to life a war-winning concept. Ladies and gentlemen, the period of peace was put to good use with the development of the SIO concept as the infantry way of war. And as such, when hostilities resumed, we were ready. I will now take you to how we transformed and won. The true nature and transforming effect of the Special Infantry Operations teams on combat operations in general and the infantry in particular was felt in the campaign waged to eradicate terrorism in the jungles of the north and the east, and the battles for the control of the north. The transformation and success of the infantry in defeating the LTT through this concept could be expressed in 3 progressive stages: contest, impact, and its success. The contest was for the jungles. This is where they beat us before. The teams operating over wide fronts, infiltrating and striking the terrorists from the front and the rear. They provided quality actionable intelligence which enhanced the lethality of the security force firepower and facilitated decision making. This critical function made a significant difference in the contest for supremacy in the jungles of Vanni and Mullaitivu. I think you are familiar with these words now. Dominance